Tyler McDonald, and what is a very important game for Ottawa Fury. Jenna, as a former player, obviously the heat's going to be a big factor in this game. It is very hot, and Louisville may be used to this heat, but Ottawa isn't.
Yeah. Ottawa isn't, but we do get our hot days in Ottawa too, so this isn't going to be too much of a challenge. The one thing is that we hope that they prepared for it by staying hydrated all weekend. They're going to have to stay hydrated throughout the game. I'm assuming that there's going to be a few water breaks as well because, like you said, it's hot in the capital.
Now, Julian de Guzman had some comments on what this next little home stretch has to do for the playoff opportunities.
Wins at home are mandatory for the rest of the season. There's no other way to go about it if we're going to make the playoffs, and to get the win at home against Louisville will definitely create a different type of momentum that we've been itching for the last stretch. So, this next game for us, it's crucial.
You can tell the urgency there from Julian de Guzman. Obviously, this playoff picture, it's tightening down as the games go on in a very tough task against what is a very good Louisville team.
Yes, they do have a hard task ahead of them, but you know what? We've seen them perform very well in their last few games. They're definitely capable of scoring. It's just they need to do it a little bit more often. They've scored out of the last 6 out of their last 7 games, so they're able to put it back in the net. We just need to see it happening more often. Last game, they hit 2 poles, which was very upsetting, but hopefully they can rebound from it, and especially with Carl highlighting his 100th game, hopefully he can put one back in the net once he gets on the turf.
Louisville, a very tough team, knows how to control the pace very well. And just a quick congratulations to Carl Howarth on his 100th game. Obviously, has been with Ottawa Fury since day one, so congratulations. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Graham Ivory, AJ Jackback will be on the call. Ottawa Fury FC versus Louisville FC coming up. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
And welcome back inside a steamy TD Place. AJ Jackubek, Graham Ivory with you as we get set for this one between Ottawa Fury FC and Louisville City FC. 32 degrees Celsius today in late September. That is not normal for Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, for anyone watching in the United States. But nonetheless, for Ottawa, they need to heat up their playoff hopes. Right now, with 5 games left, they need probably at least 11 points, which means a win would be vital to their campaign here today.
Yeah, and after a big win last night by Orlando City B, it really is must-win territory now for Ottawa Fury FC if they want to maintain that pace of continuing to be in the race, and it's a big week for them. 3 games over the course of the next 8 days. Wednesday they go to Harrisburg. Next Sunday they're back here at TD Place against the Charleston Battery. So both this weekend and next weekend, some very top opposition as well. So they're going to have to beat the best if they want to get in as well.
Let's have a look at the starting 11 for both sides. It's brought to you by Gabriel's Pizza, Ottawa's bigger, better pizza. Gabriel Pizza, 310-7777. For Ottawa, they go with the 4-4-2. Actually, it'll be a 3-4-3, closer to a 3-4-3. Callum Irving at the back. You've got Obasi, Venter, and Eddie Edward wearing the captain's armband. The defenders. Then in midfield, Andre Campbell and Jonathan Barden are the wingers. In the middle, Gerardo Bruna and Jamar Dixon. Up front, Adonijah Reed alongside Steven DeSantos and Cito. So Carl Howarth on the bench today, honored for playing his 100th game against Rochester a couple of weeks ago. And we'll see what this strike force can do for Ottawa Fury.
Yeah, the other one, Nick Depew, it'll be interesting to see when he factors into this game. They picked him up on loan. He'll be with the club for the duration of the USL season. So another big body that Julian de Guzman will have at his disposal.
Let's have a look at the starting 11 for Louisville City FC. And they go with more of a 4-5-1 with Ranjit Singh at the back, Tosh, Morad, Reynolds, and Craig. In midfield, you've got Williams, Aben, Davis, Ballard, and the Canadian Mark Anthony Kay. 4 caps for Canada. Spencer, the lone striker, up top. So this is the Louisville side. They're the first to punch their ticket in USL East. They're first in the table, and this is going to be a very tough test for Ottawa today.
Yeah, one thing Ottawa will have going for them, AJ, is that this is a beginning of a road trip for Louisville, so they do have some players that are going to be on the bench with them. They did play midweek as well. They did come back to earn a point out of that one. So can they take advantage of some tired legs? And as you already highlighted, a very hot day this afternoon. I think the heat is going to be a factor for both of these two teams.
Well, Ottawa Fury FC with their home red kits, the all red shirts, shorts, and socks. And they'll move left to right in this opening 45 minutes. Louisville City FC will wear their away white kits with the gold stripes and gold shorts, white socks. They'll move right to left in the opening half. Referee today is Pierre-Luc Lozier. The assistants, Andre Pickler and Sean Hornsby. And the fourth official is Carol Ann Chenard. As we are underway, over 5,000 here today at TD Place, and hoping for the first win in the Julian de Guzman era. They are unbeaten in 4 straight draws. They've got 5 draws and 2 losses since he took over for Paul Dalglish. As Louisville works us into the middle, and this is played wide left. Headed forward, and this will be a Louisville throw. Played into the middle and broken up there by Onwo Bassi. But a bend gets it back, and here comes Ballard with the ball into the middle. Played back out wide right. Long ball towards Kay. He heads it towards goal, and this is headed clear by Eddie Edward, and he is fouled. This will be a free kick for Ottawa Fury inside the second minute as we have a look at the keys to an Ottawa victory.
3 keys to an Ottawa victory this afternoon against Louisville City FC, AJ. Key number 1, maintain focus on the game plan. Well, all 3 points is the only thing on their mind. Ottawa must not concede opportunities, especially early in this match. Can't win it in the first 5. They need to have that full 90-minute effort. Key number 2, be mindful of Louisville's counterattack. We saw it on display very well July 1st when these two teams last met in Louisville, and we saw how often Charlotte was able to counter against Ottawa last week. So the players must communicate well when pushing forward as to who's going to cover defensively. And the third key, well, we talked about it in the pregame show, the heat factor. It is an absolute scorcher here today at TD Place, and whichever team best manages the heat with their style of play is likely to prevail.
Good work here by Jamar Dixon to get this forward on the right for Cito, and he draws the foul. 3rd minute, 0-0. For Ottawa Fury, again, looking for likely a minimum of 11 points down the stretch to give themselves any chance at reaching the postseason. Right now on 32 points, that's 12th in the East. Have to hit the top 8. Top 5, even though Louisville's the only team to have clinched a playoff berth, top 5 look pretty secure in terms of playoffs as Andre Campbell cuts into the middle. Plays this for Dos Santos with a left-footed shot and saved by the keeper, Greg Ranjitsingh, native of Pickering, but Trinidadian descent, and he's elected to play internationally for Trinidad and Tobago. Already an unused substitute for them in their World Cup qualifying campaign against Guatemala. As it comes back to the Ottawa keeper, Callum Irving, but Louisville already clinched. Charlotte, Charleston, Tampa Bay, and Rochester look to be in pretty good shape. Then you've got Cincinnati on 40 points, Orlando on 39, and New York Red Bulls 2 on 38. 3 teams on 35 in between that last playoff spot in Ottawa. That's Bethlehem, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh. Ottawa with a win today could get on 35 points as well, which would put them 3 out of a playoff spot, but right now they are on 32 points with 5 matches remaining, so certainly needing at least 3, if not 4 wins to put themselves in position to make the playoffs as well. As they attack left to right, here's Eddie Edward, halfway line. Adonijah Reed plays this wide right for Jonathan Barden. Back to Eddie Edward. Gerardo Bruna plays this back to Obasi. Looks to Campbell, and now he plays it for Dos Santos. Obasi. Dos Santos. Here's Bruna. Halfway line. Now Eddie Edward. Adonijah Reed. Morad trying to dispossess him, and Reed couldn't get through the wall of white shirts as it's played forward for Spencer. Lays it off for Kay. 25 yards out. Kay plays this forward, Ballard. And this is shepherded out of play by Eddie Edward. This will be a goal kick for Ottawa Fury. 6th minute, 0-0.
Yeah, well defended there by Eddie Edward, but that play started back in the midfield when Adonijah Reed, a couple touches too many, trying to slice his way through the midfield, gives up possession. And we talked about it in those keys, is that Louisville, a very dangerous team on the counterattack, and they sprung into action there. Fortunately, nothing came of that opportunity.
So goal kick taken by the keeper, Callum Irving. Headed back towards midfield and flicked on, but good work by Edward to come across, ensuring Kay didn't go forward. Paco Craig plays this ahead near touchline, but Ballard unable to keep it in play. It goes out for an Ottawa throw. Edward into the middle for Kyle Venter. Now Obasi. Venter for Obasi. Bruna's ball deflects out for an Ottawa throw. Very good timing on the Gatorade Frost ad. I think anyone in attendance today is ensuring that they are going to be well hydrated today. And certainly, you mentioned, I mean, for the players, this will be a taxing day for them. Generally, evening starts in the summer in Ottawa, and afternoon starts in the spring and the fall. Well, it is technically fall, but this is very unseasonably hot day in Canada's capital as Bruna goes forward for Ottawa Fury. Back towards Barden to Eddie Edward. Captain gets this forward, flicked on by Reed. Cito trying to get it back to him. And it's Sean Reynolds coming across to play it to the center circle as DeSantos has possession for Ottawa. Now to Onwo Bassi, just inside the Louisville half, wide left, Andre Campbell. Obasi. Ball towards Campbell, deflects off a foot, and they're calling Campbell on the foul. Free kick goes Louisville's way. Here as we enter the 9th minute at TD Place, 0-0 the score.
Yeah, good run by Andre Campbell, but not an intended foul, more just players getting their legs entangled, but the advantage would have been to Ottawa, so the foul called.
I mentioned doubleheader day for OSEG, for Rogers TV, for TSN 1200. As not only is there soccer being played here on the TD Place facility, right underneath the north side stands, TD Place Arena will host the season opener for the Ottawa 67s at home. Having split in Barrie and Mississauga, they will take on the Erie Otters tonight at 7 o'clock. So busy day for everyone at Ottawa Sports and Entertainment. As Fury push forward, it's Bruna now to Adonijah Reed. Stepping up Craig to knock it away, but Dixon plays this wide left. Now it's Andre Campbell. Campbell looks to cut to the middle, gets back to the outside with the cross. Right at the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's cleared away. Not past Dixon, though. Comes back towards Venter. Now Obasi. Andre Campbell. Quick little 1-2 with Dixon down the left. And it deflects off Campbell for a Louisville throw, but pretty good start here for Ottawa. 10th minute, 0-0.
Yeah, it was good work down that left side again by Andre Campbell as he had his man turned inside out, cutting left and right. And a good delivery, and perhaps had it been Steven DeSantos in the middle and not Cito, might have had a better target to try and pick out there.
Wide left inside the Louisville half. It's played into the middle where Bruna commits the foul, and this will be a free kick for Louisville as they get it ahead for Kay. Moves this wide right. And it comes back for Reynolds. Tosh. Sent forward, but Eddie Edward in good position and moves it across for John Barden. Center circle towards Cito. Louisville gains possession back. Speedy Williams now for a bend. Plays it over the top, but this is gathered by Callum Irving off his line, edge of the 18, and he's got it for Ottawa Fury.
That's but the third time now we've seen that ball played through over the top, looking for Luke Spencer, and he's the one who scored that match winner when these two sides last met on July the 1st. Steven DeSantos, the lone goal for Ottawa in that game. The other goal scorer was Brian Ownby, who scored in that first half. As you may recall, Callum Irving, certainly one of his best games in Fury colors, had to make a couple of clutch saves, especially in that opening half hour where Louisville had Ottawa under siege early in that match.
Louisville attacking now as it comes back to Tosh. Reynolds now for Paco Craig. Inside the Ottawa half. Wide left, Morat. Now Williams. Reynolds. Speedy Williams, the Jamaican international. Tosh with the diagonal ball towards Ballard, and good work by Eddie Edward to read that and clear it. Cito's ball in behind Adonijah Reed, and that allows Louisville to stay in possession here. So it comes to Morat. Eddie Edward able to break that down, and now Barden plays it into the middle for Dixon. Here's DeSantos just inside the Louisville half. Gets this wide left, Andre Campbell. Now for Reed. Quick turn, 30 yards out, plays it into the middle for Bruna. Forced to back up, gets it for Eddie Edward. Now Bruna. For Cito. Able to beat one defender. Couldn't get it to Adonijah Reed, who's fighting for it and does win it for Steven DeSantos. Wide left over the head, though, as he did a little too much on that ball to Andre Campbell, and it goes out for a Louisville throw.
Good work at the top of the box by Adonijah Reed, just to fight for possession to poke it over to Steven DeSantos. Touch just a bit heavy ahead of Andre Campbell. He tried to spray it out wide.
And now Louisville attacking. It's Spencer in the middle, 25 yards out, plays this wide right. Kay trying to get this onto his left foot, back onto his right, puts the shot on goal, and not a lot of pace on it to disturb Callum Irving, but he is able to scoop it up and make the save. 14th minute, 0-0. Reminder that Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Speedy Williams. This is wide on the right, it's Tosh. Now Reynolds. Craig. A bend. As Reynolds plays it for his partner in central defense, Paco Craig. Now a bend. Halfway line for Louisville. Craig sends it forward towards Kay. Latches onto the ball. Near touchline. Kay, nice move working against Venter. Plays it inside the 6-yard box and goes right into the waiting arms of the keeper, Callum Irving, as we're a quarter of an hour in. 0-0 here at TD Place. Callum Irving takes it from Anu Obasi, the Englishman. And the Canadian international Irving launches this into the Louisville half. Headed back towards Craig. Two red shirts in the vicinity. Ottawa wins it. Reed's ball in behind Cito. As DeSantos now lurking. DeSantos. A good battle there. And it is won by Tosh, who does well to clear it outside the Louisville City penalty area. Now they look to counter. Sent by Spencer for Kay, and cutting across was Venter. Fury back in possession. Here's Cito. Cross for Andre Campbell. Beats one defender quite easily, but his ball a little too far for Cito, and is cleared out for an Ottawa throw. Throw in for Obasi. Into the middle for Gerardo Bruna. Couldn't link up with DeSantos, and Louisville back in possession. This goes out for an Ottawa throw. John Barden to take this in the 18th minute. 0-0, gets it in for Steven DeSantos, back to Barden. Edward back inside the Ottawa half for Venter. Cross for Onwo Obasi. Back inside the Louisville half, it's Jamar Dixon. Now Cito, one-time effort as he took his touch with the right foot and let it fly with the left, and that misses the target. Goal kick. Louisville, 18th minute, 0-0.
Yeah, good work, AJ, by Ottawa getting to move that ball around and still just trying to find that seam to penetrate something inside the penalty area. And on a day like today, you certainly don't want your teammates exploiting needless energy by their movement off the ball, but it's a very integral part to trying to open up those channels.
Well, good turn here by Steven DeSantos, and he draws a foul inside the Louisville half.
That's been a good battle exchange between himself and Paco Craig and Tarek Morad. Sean Reynolds has also been in there. Sean Tosh. Certainly the target for this Louisville back line this afternoon. And you have to say that the Steven DeSantos that we saw in the first half of the season compared to what we've seen in the back half of this season, night and day, and such a strong second half to the year from Steven DeSantos.
Well, good work. Stepping up there, Jamar Dixon, but comes back into the Ottawa half. And Obasi chased, and he'll play it back to his keeper, Irving. Halfway line, header won by Reynolds, but he is called for the foul on Cito. Free kick, Ottawa.
I think Cito's been called for the offside here as he came back from an offside position, even though he did take the worst of that challenge. All for naught.
So it's a goal kick, Ottawa in the 20th minute. Reminder, you can keep up to date with some of the game's top talent and rising stars with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com. You can also follow them on Twitter at USL. Header won by Jamar Dixon inside the Louisville half, but it's played back towards the halfway line. And now Kay for Louisville. Ballard, his ball. Headed away, and it comes back to Barden. And Bruna's ball for Barden. Out of touch for a Louisville throw. Morad in for Speedy Williams, but this is cleared by Bruna back inside the Louisville half. Reminder, every Monday, except for some weeks like this week when it's Tuesday, it's Ottawa's premier soccer show, and it looks at the world of soccer from local club teams to Ottawa Fury FC to the beautiful game across Europe and around the globe. That's Corner Kicks, usually Mondays, this Tuesday on TSN 1200. 7 o'clock this Tuesday. Hockey season means, well, it switches the schedule around a little bit more. Busy time with the Senators, the Red Blacks, the 67s, and the Fury all playing into October. Free kick given Louisville's way here in the 22nd minute. 0-0.
Yeah, good run by Adonijah Reed, and gets up to try and chest that ball down. Unfortunately, gets him in the bicep, bringing it to ground and resulting in a foul.
Launched into the Ottawa half. Dixon sends it to the halfway line, but Louisville back in possession. Played over the top towards Spencer, but cleared away by Venter. Dixon has it for Ottawa Fury. Now to Adonijah Reed. Heavy touch, but Reed's able to recover and get it back to the captain, Eddie Edward. Plays it into space towards Dos Santos. Headed back by Craig, but Ottawa in possession. This is Gerardo Bruna for Anwar Obasi. Reed for Dixon. Wide left Obasi. Jamar Dixon. Venter wide right for Eddie Edward. As we're past the midway point of this first half, 0-0. Ottawa Fury against Louisville City. And this cross goes into the arms of Callum Irving as Fury will build up from the back again. Dixon. Goes forward and wide right to Eddie Edward. Now wide left just inside the Louisville half, Andre Campbell. Middle of the park, Bruna. Ball towards Barden, who's onside, and takes a skip inside the Louisville City penalty area, and Ranjit Singh's got it, and he'll roll it along the TD Place turf for Speedy Williams. Craig. As he's being chased down, gave up possession. Fury back to the keeper, Irving. Here's Obasi. Now to Andre Campbell. Beats one defender, and now he's tripped. Free kick, Ottawa Fury.
Have a looking at some of the results from last night, AJ, and Rochester Rhinos were stunned by Richmond, falling 1-0.
Ooh, it's a good ball here for Andre Campbell as Campbell makes a run inside the penalty area and scuffs the shot, and this is going to go out for a goal kick, but nice attacking play there from Andre Campbell.
And again, he gets goal side of the defender and tries to cut back outside, and then the left-footed effort gets too far around the outside of the ball. Those are the positions that Campbell needs to get into. Big result last night was Orlando City's 2-1 win at home over the Charleston Battery. That game was 1-1 until Orlando found the winner about 4 or 5 minutes from time. Tampa Bay Rowdies handed Charlotte a 1-0 defeat as Rowdies playing for the first time in a while after some games postponed due to Hurricane Irma. St. Louis FC had a 2-0 lead over FC Cincinnati, who battled back yet again to earn a point in a 2-2 result. If you have a look at the USL Western Conference, top 4 teams are already solidified. Still some movement in terms of where they will finish, but the Real Monarchs, Reno 1868 FC, San Antonio Swope Park, all punching their ticket to the USL Cup playoffs. Tulsa, Phoenix, Sacramento, and OKC Energy, the next 4 teams that are currently in a playoff position. And realistically, Orange County, Colorado, and Rio Grande Valley, the only 3 teams that are really chasing, although Sounders 2 not mathematically eliminated as of yet. Galaxy 2, Whitecaps 2, and Portland Timbers 2 all have been eliminated from the postseason. In the Eastern Conference, it's just TFC 2 who have been mathematically eliminated.
Here's Adonijah Reed for Ottawa Fury. Bruna gets this wide right to Barden, into the air towards Dos Santos, looking to flick it on to Cito. And this is booted outside the penalty area swiftly. by Paco Craig as Fury back in possession center circle. It's Obasi. 28th minute, 0-0 here at TD Place. Obasi making a run down the left side. Now to Campbell. One touch for Adonijah Reed, but knocked away from him and cleared back to the halfway line. Dixon for Bruna. Eddie Edward pushing forward. Here's Eddie Edward. Gives it a go. It comes to Adonijah Reed and just couldn't get a shot away about 10 yards out. As it's cleared back for an Ottawa throw.
Good effort from Eddie Edwards, and it goes right to the feet of Adonijah Reed, who really, I don't think was anticipating that, but needed to put that on target first time. And Ottawa's finding ways here this afternoon, moving the ball around quite nicely. Currently owning 59% of the possession through 29 minutes. Shots favoring Ottawa 3-1.
So a free kick here near touchline. 40 yards out. And Bruno will take this with his left foot. Edge of the 18-yard box. It doesn't get inside as it's cleared away. Barden wins it though. Now to Cito. Quick little 1-2 and important challenge as Ottawa keep this in play through Adonijah Reed. Reed with the cross, and that's headed clear. Far touchline, it's played by Venter for Onwell Bassi, back to Venter. Now Andre Campbell. And he'll send this all the way back to Callum Irving. Eddie Edward plays this wide left for Andre Campbell. It's Campbell with two defenders on him. Looks to cut inside and forces a tackle there as it comes back to Gerardo Bruna. Edward wide right. For Barden, his ball does not get to Cito, and as we are about to hit the half-hour mark here at TD Place, it remains 0-0.
Yeah, squandered opportunity there from Fury FC as they, or rather make that Louisville City FC, as they could have been away with numbers after that last play, but no one showed for anyone, and then the pass goes awry.
Fury in possession here. It's Bruna, plays it back to Callum Irving. I mentioned the importance of hydration a little bit earlier. I was out and about today, and meantime I saw a tent that was set up on the way to the stadium. It was right near the canal, kind of in a weird spot, but all sorts of people lined up. They're getting waters. They're getting keychains. They're USL keychains. I didn't even know these things existed. Sirius XM. They had these Sirius XM bandanas to go along with the USL keychains, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I got to stop and see what's going on here. As there's a guy who's, I mean, he wasn't even really sweating. He was working so hard, but he was in such good shape. He's moving keychains and bandanas and waters and chucking them and juggling and doing all these things. And next thing you know, it's like, wow, that's Mike Watts. Make sure you tune into Mike Watts every Monday at 9 o'clock, Sirius XM FC Channel 85, to stay up to date on all the latest USL news and information from around the league. It's USL Coast to Coast. Don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
Well, the legend continues to grow. And where is he now when we could use him?
Water break here right now. No, he's got important things going on. I know he's listening to the game, but he's hydrating the people. That's his main job. So mandatory water break here in the 33rd minute. with this 32-degree heat in Ottawa. 0-0 the scoreline. Your thoughts so far as we sip some water here in the booth?
Take our mandatory water break. May not be running around on the field, but it's hot in a suit today. You know what? First half hour, quite pleased with Ottawa's performance. I don't think they've given up very much. Louisville have looked, frankly, a little lethargic at times. Just there's been a few opportunities where they could counter, and I really like that counter-attacking style that they do offer, but they just haven't really been effective with it. There's been a few times where they push numbers forward with lots of pace, but there's been a few passes gone awry. I think Ottawa has to be really pleased with how they've maintained possession, not forced anything, and that was kind of the important factor coming into this game, is that you really know that it's must-win time of the season for now as they try and hunt down a spot in the USL Cup playoffs. But you can't do it at the risk of how your team plays, going against your strategy, going against what you've worked at training all week. And I think so far done well to stick to the game plan. And there's been a few unfortunate bounces for Ottawa. That one with Adonijah Reed. Andre Campbell couldn't hit his opportunity clean when he was inside the penalty area.
So Ottawa Fury start things up here once again after the water break. 35th minute, 0-0. Venter. Dixon now to Obasi. Adonijah Reed with a quick turn, and you can see the pace that he's got as he's tripped up. Referee plays the advantage, and now it's going to be a free kick for Ottawa. Just a terrific burst there from Adonijah Reed. The acceleration earning Ottawa a free kick.
Yeah, that was an awfully hard foul there as Sean Tosh went in with the full force on Reed and kind of dangerously swinging through that challenge. But I like Adonijah Reed when he's going forward with possession. He does not, unfortunately, have the frame, although he certainly has the footwork to get him out of trouble. But when he's playing with his back to goal, it's a lot easier for a defender to push up on the back, reach through him. Doesn't have that size that he's even able to protect or shield the ball, but when he's running forward, he can be awfully elusive.
Free kick headed clear just outside the 18-yard box. Played forward here towards Spencer, and Spencer has a half step on Barden. Great work by Campbell, and Spencer still gets a shot away and forces a save out of Callum Irving. And Spencer looks into the air, and he was hoping to do a little bit better. That's the best chance of the match for either team here in the 36th minute.
Yeah, no question. And again, talked about it, Louisville just has that ability to jet forward. Good work by both Jonathan Barden and Andre Campbell to converge and limit the opportunity from Spencer, who split the defense. But Campbell got the first touch to disrupt the opportunity. Barden was there in support, and that shot wasn't going to ever challenge Callum Irving, but Andre Campbell down after that last play, and he'll seek some treatment from athletic therapist Seaton Pereira. A very timely touch from Andre Campbell.
Yeah, that probably saved a goal from Andre Campbell. Forcing Spencer to stop and then take the shot with his left foot.
Well, and it's confidence of your ability as well, because oftentimes when you see a player sprung free on a breakaway like that, people might try that slide challenge, and if you do not time that perfectly, not only will it result in a foul, potentially a penalty kick depending on the position of it, but it can also result in a card of a color you don't want to see. Speaking of cards, Fury FC do have a few players that do need to be mindful of going into the officials' book, one of which is Steven DeSantos, Jonathan Barden, Shane McElhaney, who remains out injured with a foot injury. He's day-to-day, and Sergio Minicio, all sitting on 4 yellow cards. A 5th would result in a 1-match suspension. So a couple of all 4 very key players. Likely see McElhaney in that starting lineup tonight, this afternoon, if he was not injured. Jonathan Barden really come into his own in the right side in the back half of this season. Another player who I thought has had a very good second half has been Jamar Dixon, who perhaps a bit short on confidence to start the year, but he's had a good run of form for Ottawa of late. Scored the opening goal in last Saturday's match in that 1-1 draw against Charlotte.
Louisville back in possession here, 39th minute. 0-0, and Andre Campbell back and running down that left side of the pitch as Eddie Edward clears this out for a Louisville throw. Louisville looking for the foul as Ballard went down, but referee says play on, and Fury pushed forward through Gerardo Bruna. Little miscommunication as that ball didn't get to Cito, and easy clearance by Craig, and Louisville back in possession. Bassi plays this into the air for Cito. Couldn't get beyond Reynolds. And it's sent back past the halfway line. Speedy Williams lives up to his name as he gets to that ball first. And here's Guy Abend for Louisville City. Now Kay, too many red shirts around him. Fury have possession now. It's Jamar Dixon for Andre Campbell. 40 minutes gone, 0-0. Bruna. Venter. Wide right, Edward. Barden. Tackled there by Morad, and the ball for Kay is beyond him into the arms of the keeper, Callum Irving. Ottawa Fury back in possession.
First time for a bit now that we've seen a bit more sustained pressure from Louisville. We've really pushed guys a bit more aggressively forward into the heart of that midfield instead of just dropping off, and really forcing Ottawa to work their way outside of their own half. Earlier in this match, inside that opening half hour, they were just conceding midfield.
A bend for Louisville, hard foul by Adonai Jareed. Free kick for Louisville City inside their own half. Craig into the middle towards Williams. It's played into the center circle, and the free kick goes Louisville's way. Header by Eddie Edward for Ottawa. And Speedy Williams gets it back. Ball towards Kay, headed away by Venter. Edward puts this in play. Now Williams for Louisville. Ball towards Ballard, but cleared back inside the Louisville half. looking for their first win under Julian de Guzman. This ball to Kay, and he turns, gets this onto the right foot, 17 yards out, and just couldn't get past Venter, and Edward takes possession for Ottawa. Comes toward Cito, halfway line. As Reed to his left, to Santos to his right. Reed cuts into the middle. He goes down. And the ball is cleared away back inside the Ottawa half.
An unfortunate bounce as Cito's pass to a streaking Reed, who was cutting left to right, had broken free from his man, but takes a deflection and goes right back to where Reed had originally made the run from.
There will be a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half. Of course, they had a 2-minute water break because of the heat. Ball played forward on the left side for Andre Campbell. Oh, nice move to cut it inside and just couldn't get past that second defender. That was Tosh. Dixon now for Obasi. So poised on the ball, Obasi, as he gets this wide left, Andre Campbell. Now Jamar Dixon. On to Obasi. Adonijah Reed. It's cleared away by Tosh. And this will be a free kick for Louisville. 45th minute, 0-0. Can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think 32 degrees, the hottest game time temperature for an Ottawa Fury home game. I remember a 30.
Well, we have some scorchers, and I'm going back to thinking even 2014-15. I remember an afternoon game against the then Carolina Railhawks. It was just a sweltering game. You may recall that was when Oliver netted an equalizer deep into stoppage time. We'll get the stats guys on it, AJ.
I believe 32 would be the record.
Well, you asked me to correct you if you're wrong, so you're wrong, so I'm correcting you. Listen to this guy.
It's a rare occurrence. So.
Well, I'd best go and buy myself a lottery ticket tonight. Maybe a 50-50 ticket here this afternoon.
I'm not saying. I do not believe 32 was topped. That's all I'm saying. Even for that Carolina Railhawks
I'm
game.
quite confident it has. Quite confident.
Well,
Sounds like a challenge for
we'll
research.
Have to look into the records.
I'm more than happy to research it.
We are into stoppage time here in the
Put
first
a nice
half.
graphic together. Work with Mike Sutherland. Do a little halftime bit on it next week. Wednesday night, AJ. We're back in action.
Yes, look forward to that.
A new segment coming your way. How AJ was wrong. And how I proved it. Might have to do an extended halftime or post-game show. But
Eddie Edward in possession, and this goes off him and out for a Louisville throw.
Maybe a special Wednesdays with Williams edition with AJ. Surprised you haven't made an appearance on that yet.
I haven't had the invite.
Mike Watts has already been on.
Well, we know the pecking order here.
Good grief, our friend Sanisha, former comms guy with Fury FC, has been on the show.
Yes, wishing him all the best. Sanisha Sindic and all his new pursuits. As Louisville push forward on this ball on the left side, just inside the Ottawa penalty area, is grabbed by Spencer with the, oh! He put that off the side netting, and
well, that was a dangerous opportunity from Luke Spencer, who was able to turn Kyle Venter tried to chip it to the back post, and it gets up on top of the net. It didn't miss by much.
No.
There was no one there marking that back post either.
Just over the bar. And it hit the top of the netting, just behind the crossbar. So opportunity for Spencer, but again it remains 0-0 here in first half stoppage time, and we have seconds to go before we get set for halftime, and I'm sure that'll be welcomed by both sets of players playing in this searing heat. And there is the halftime whistle. So, best chance coming from Luke Spencer. Pretty even first half, and it's 0-0 Ottawa Fury FC and Louisville City FC as Ottawa looks to keep their unbeaten streak going. 4 straight draws for Ottawa Fury FC as we send it down and hear from the head coach. It is Julian de Guzman. Technical issues there as we heard some lawnmowers, but nonetheless it's some comments from Julian de Guzman, and the heat playing a factor in this one as he was saying through that, and it's 0-0 at halftime.
Yeah, look, I really liked Ottawa's opening half hour of this match, but that last 15 minutes, I really think you have to kind of give advantage to Louisville City. Really started to take over. Those passes through the midfield started to click a little bit more. They look the dangerous to the two sides, but some good 15-minute break here for both sides. We'll see how they come out to reset in that second half.
Coming up next, we'll have our player profile. We'll have, of course, what's trending coming up with Jenna Mosier and Tyler McDonald, and much more. Our halftime stats as well. 0-0 Ottawa Fury FC and Louisville City FC at halftime. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
It's been a long journey, you know. Many countries, many places, different styles of football. But I like it. It's been special, and I tend to continue the same way, you know. I think I still have a long way to go. So I just want to keep improving and keep getting better and playing. It was a point that I had to decide either keep playing professional there or move to the US. I always wanted to know the country that I was born. You know, I was born in Miami, but I didn't know much about the US, so I needed a change. So I decided to go to the US, and it ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made. Paul, at that moment, he taught me a lot of things, you know, how to become a better professional, good habits, and it was special. Like, I didn't think about it when Paul called me to join him here in the Fury. So I'm looking forward to have another great year like 2013 when we won the PDL, so I'm definitely looking forward to keep working with him. I think he gets the best out of players, and as a player you have to be hungry, and also you want to keep improving, and he's always on top of the players in that sense. We had that pressure from the beginning as well, you know, to win every game and to win the championship, but we dealt with it really good, you know, a great group of guys, great coaches, great organization, great fans, and it was special, to be honest. It's really difficult, you know. The competition is not always what you see, you know. There's always many players that they want to be where you at, and you don't even know them. So I think you gotta stay hungry, you gotta keep working, and making sure that you improve every day, even if it's a little. But keeping hungry is one of the biggest things, you know, and always have faith and believe and trust yourself, you know.
Well, welcome to our halftime show. We take a look at what's trending along the USL and in the land of Ottawa Fury FC. Jenna Mosier alongside me, Tyler McDonald. And Jenna, obviously, over the last few games, the past month or so, it's been how head coach Julian Guzman has been doing as the new head coach of Ottawa Fury FC. No wins as of yet, but 5 draws in there as well. It's kind of been one of those scenarios where he's been unlucky in chances.
Yeah, and you know, I think the unlucky streak kind of began at the time that he did step in as head coach. It was, you know, right before they went on this 3-game road trip. So it was a little bit difficult, but I think we're seeing definitely a different team than we saw under Coach Dalglish. And I think that comes a lot down to the chemistry that the players have with Coach de Guzman. I mean, you can tell that there's a very much a mutual respect between players and coaches, and that's really important when it comes to coaching players individually as well as a team. But you have to think of their individual needs as well. Some players respond to, you know, harder criticism, others don't. So I think de Guzman has a really good sense of what each player needs individually as well as what the team needs all around.
And that's something that, you know, we've seen, you know, the added possession for head coach Julian Guzman. He's brought that in. He's brought better passing, and it seems everyone's a little more calm when they have the ball, and there's not rushed forward. That's where we're seeing those chances created, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we're seeing players play on the field that are deserving of their positions. There was a little confusion before about why certain players weren't starting, why certain ones were riding the bench, and now I think he's got himself a really great team, a great starting 11, and hopefully he can get a win today.
We'll take a look now at what Julian had to say about what are his head coaching abilities here in just a moment.
It was rather Jamar Dixon who gets the tally, and Ottawa Fury FC up 1-0 on the road here at the Sportsplex in Matthews.
Well, the last 4 or 5 minutes, you could see that coming. Ottawa just there, and Charlotte's at all.
The guys going in the sense that this is the football they want to play, and this is what they could do. So, you know, I think performance-wise, it's been good. We know we could do better, and you know, with the short time that was given to create that was major. Now we need the results to follow. Performance has been good, but once the results follow, then the performance, you could say, is great. You know, I think the guys have a lot of confidence. You know, just going onto the field and being themselves, and you know, a game against Louisville. It's, you know, look at past experience when we do play against big teams or teams that have done well. It creates a different type of energy as well. So I think the guys know what's expected. You know, these are grown men who realize what's at stake.
So you hear Julian say on, you know, the big games they step up, and it's been a pretty even game so far. And where I think we agree where we see the most of it is on that left side with Andre Campbell.
He is playing a phenomenal game today. I mean, he's got George Davis IV marking him, and he's put him on his butt a couple times. He's absolutely owning that left side of the field, and let's hope that they continue to play down it. But de Guzman made a good point. These players are playing the football they want to be playing, and that's where that mutual respect comes in, where not only are you listening to your coach, but your coach is listening to the players, and that's really shining through on the field.
I mean, Julian is a player or a coach that played just last season with Ottawa Fury FC, and we take a look at some of the statistics for Julian de Guzman and his head coaching so far this season. And you see 7 matches, 5 of them being draws, and you can argue that a couple of those should have been wins as well. 8 goals for, 15 goals against. That's obviously a stat that is a little in a rough shape. 4 straight draws is the main factor, and that's where it seems that Fury are losing those points, those extra 2 points in those games that are crucial to make the playoffs. We're seeing that. Again, they're creating chances, but it's the last 10-15 minutes of the game that is really letting Fury down and causing those extra points that they need.
Well, considering de Guzman's been coaching the team for just over a month, you've seen such a massive improvement, and it just makes you wonder what could have happened if he was coach maybe 2 weeks prior to August 15th.
And the second half, obviously the heat's going to play a factor as well. You're going to see lots of hydration, of course, at halftime. What's your one key for Ottawa Fury FC?
Maintain possession. You want to maintain possession, whether you're just passing the ball around, maintain it, make the other team work, make them defend. It's a lot harder to defend than maintain possession at times. So that's going to be definitely key, and communicate, because your players are going to be tired. Sometimes they're not going to be where they usually are. So continue to communicate, continue to maintain possession, and play to feet.
I think my one key for Louisville is going to have to be to attack quickly here on the second half and try to get Ottawa Fury tired early. We'll see if Louisville can do that as well. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have Graham Ivory, AJ Jackback on the call for the second half. 0-0 at halftime. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
The road to the 2017 USL Cup playoffs continues to evolve. In Week 24, Real Monarchs SLC became the first team to clinch a spot in the postseason. But Week 26 saw two more clubs claim their position, with San Antonio FC doing so in midweek and Louisville City FC earning the first Eastern Conference postseason spot over the weekend. Maintaining their position as a top team in the Western Conference, Real Monarchs SLC were able to seal their position in the postseason in Week 24 despite falling to San Antonio FC. The Monarchs still clinched due to a loss by Oklahoma City Energy FC earlier in the night. San Antonio FC punched its ticket to the playoffs last Wednesday night on the road at Orange County SC. Ben Noonan tallied the lone goal of the game, which earned San Antonio FC its first trip to the postseason in club history. A hard-fought draw in front of a home crowd of more than 8,300 fans at Slugger Field put Louisville City FC in a position to clinch a spot in the USL Cup playoffs if other results went their way on the weekend. With Orlando City B falling to St. Louis FC on Saturday night, Lou City was officially in the playoffs for the third season in a row, and the first Eastern Conference side to do so. With plenty of teams still vying for a spot in the postseason, the playoff race continues to be one to watch. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
And welcome back inside TD Place. AJ Jackback, Graham Ivory with you as we get set for second half action at TD Place. Ottawa Fury FC, Louisville City FC 0-0 at halftime. Let's have a look at the halftime stats, and they're brought to you by Rico, making information work for Ottawa Fury FC. And no goals to tell you about in the first half, but let's have a look at the other stats. 62% possession for Ottawa, 38% for Louisville. Shots are 4-2 Ottawa. No corners for either side. Fouls 7-5 Louisville. Basically an even half. Louisville probably with the best chance through Luke Spencer, but 0-0. I would say a pretty reasonable scoreline given what we've seen.
Yeah, I think about what was expected out of this one, AJ, and that heat that we've had. You know, there's been a few times where you've seen Campbell sprung free down that left side. Luke Spencer, you mentioned, he's made a few big runs down the middle. But overall, it's been all about the build-up and just trying to break players out of their position to open that channel to play a ball through. Louisville didn't have many opportunities inside that opening half hour. Ottawa was able to get some decent balls into the penalty area. You saw that last chance from Cito there, but unable to get on the right end of it. Adonijah Reed has drawn certainly a lot of attention, but this was the best chance of that opening half. And Luke Spencer, good defensive work from both Jonathan Barden and Andre Campbell to try and close him down, limit the opportunity to just a shot through. Barden didn't get a lot of power on it as that run really, I think, took a lot of energy out of Luke Spencer. But overall, Ottawa has to be pleased with what they did in that opening 45 minutes. Be interesting to see how that opening 15 minutes plays out, and when we see either side go to their bench first. I think Ottawa's certainly the more favored team to go to that bench first because they're the team that needs the result this afternoon.
Yeah, if you're Louisville, you're happy getting a draw today in this heat. If you're Ottawa, it's not the end of the world, but this is a team that needs a lot of points and a lot of wins down the stretch. At least 11 points from their last 5 matches. So if you don't win today, all of a sudden that margin for error that much more slim, where you're probably needing 3 wins and a draw from your last 4. Well, on the subject of temperature,
here we go.
The hottest day in the history of the nation's capital occurred July 29th, 2015, which happened to be 3 days after the Ottawa Fury Carolina Railhawks game that I believe you're referring to, because there was one the year before where Oliver did have a late goal in September, where the temperature that day was 21 degrees. Against Carolina, when Carl Howarth had a late winner against Carolina on that July 26th, 3 days before the hottest day in the history of Canada's capital, the temperature, now I believe it was 30 degrees. It says 29 on the records, but I'm willing to concede that it was as hot as 30 degrees that day. That July 29th, 3 days later, was 34 degrees, which defeated 1949 and 1959 temperatures of 33 degrees. So at 32 degrees, I cannot say for certain that this is the hottest day in Ottawa Fury FC history on home soil, but I have a hard time thinking there is one hotter, given the fact that 34 and 33 are 3 of the hottest days in the history of the nation's capital. Had to do a little bit of research at halftime. Bottom line is, it's hot.
You're not counting Humidex, are you?
I do not count the Humidex.
Okay.
People,
I would say that the athletes might count the Humidex.
No, you know what? I'll say the people in the good part of Louisville, Kentucky know their heat and humidity. Having been there last year around early September, I know how hot and humid it is down there. They don't even know what the Humidex is, nor do people in Singapore or Charleston, South Carolina, or Houston, Texas, or Galveston, or Panama City, or every area in the world where there is tremendous heat and humidity.
We're not in any of those areas, I might add.
Which is why their system would be a more reputable system than the one we use here. Their
system would make AJ right. Wouldn't want to be wrong. Yes, thus more reputable.
I just go by pure temperature. And today it's hot as you know what.
You are anything but pure, my friend.
I'm okay with that. Life is worth living, Graham.
You've lived it.
It's 0-0 as we enter the 48th minute here in Ottawa. Fury work this to Onwell Bassett. Now to Callum Irving. Edward for Callum Irving. Into the air for Cito. And this is cleared back by Craig to Ranjit Singh, the Louisville keeper. Gaia Bend.
Should note, having a look at the out-of-town scores, it's just 6 minutes into the match in Bethlehem, and the Steel already have a 1-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And of course, Bethlehem also in that fight to get into the postseason. They're 3 points back of New York coming into today, and a draw would put them level on Red Bulls 2 in points and wins. They would have the advantage in goal difference as well.
That's one where you're hoping for a draw. Both teams on 35 points. But for Ottawa, it's all about what they do, and they need wins. And
yeah, ultimately, any of the teams that are kind of outside of the playoff picture, their results for the time being don't really mean much to Fury FC, because for Ottawa to get into the playoffs anyways, including having to contend with potential tiebreakers, they need to win and potentially even win out.
Here's Ballard working against Eddie Edward. Onto his right foot, the cross. Off Obasi. This will be the first corner of the match in the 50th minute, and it goes to Louisville City FC. George Davis IV, the Louisville captain, will come across to take this corner. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger from the far corner flag. It's Louisville with 5 players inside the penalty area, but it's played outside the area and now sent in right at the edge of the 6-yard box. It's the keeper, Callum Irving, with the stop. Fury looking to counter. Cito plays this wide left, Adonijah Reed. Reed onto his right foot. 3 white shirts in his face, so can't take the shot. Now Bruna does from close to 30 yards out, and that's blocked. Comes back to Onwell Bassett. 50 minutes gone, 0-0. Into the middle, Jamar Dixon. Wide right. Barden. Bruna for Dixon. Now Edward. Dixon looks to get the cross in, whips it in, and ooh, Ranjit Singh right at the edge of the 6-yard box, able to scoop that up. Dangerous ball from Jamar Dixon on the right side as Campbell looks to win it back. But Louisville counter. Davis wins a throw for Louisville. Reynolds. Williams. Spencer. Was off Ballard, and Fury back in possession. Edward to the keeper, Irving. $6,015 the attendance here this afternoon at TD Place. Most of them on the south side, and on the north side, the majority of fans moved up to where the shade is. That's what kind of day it is. Usually you take advantage of the heat whenever you can get it here in Ottawa, but today people taking cover. As Fury pushed down the left side, Cito looking to take on Reynolds, and Reynolds does well to knock it away, but this will be the first corner of the match for Ottawa Fury in the 53rd minute, looking to break this 0-0 deadlock.
Yeah, that break all happens just in front of the Fury FC bench on the near touchline, as coming back into the play was Steven DeSantos to try and get the ball. He gets clattered into from behind, and then play carries on. Cito tries to get a break and didn't necessarily win the foot race, but wins Ottawa a corner here. Gerardo Bruna to take the first for Fury FC this afternoon.
So this will be a left-footed out-swinging corner from the near corner flag from Gerardo Bruna. As Ottawa places 2 players inside the 6-yard box, 3 others inside the 18, and Jamar Dixon right at the edge of the 18 as well. Referee ensuring that everyone is set to go here for this corner in the 54th minute. As Bruna steps up and delivers the left-footed corner, and it went out, and so this will be a goal kick for Louisville.
And a foul called on Eddie Edward in the box, and a bit of a meal made of it there.
But the assistant raised his flag. I thought the ball went out just on the corner as well. So either way, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and Fury will look to regain possession here. Here's Davis. Puts this towards the target, but mishits it. And it's over the bar. It'll be a goal kick for Ottawa Fury. Here's Obasi. Ball goes forward. It's broken up here by Tosh. And this will go out for an Ottawa throw.
14th minute in Bethlehem, and the Steel now have a 2-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
And that, if they could hold on, would give them 38 points, which would tie New York Red Bulls to for the last playoff spot. They'd have a game in hand. They'd have the same amount of wins, which is the first tiebreaker in USL, and they'd have a goal difference of at least 4 better. Is working his way around the keeper and scoring. It is George Davis, the 4th, and just like that, in the 56th minute, it's a 1-0 Louisville lead.
A bit of miscommunication there as Callum Irving comes out for that one. Andre Campbell going for it as well, and really something that just came out of nothing as the ball's lobbed in. And Davis, the 4th, gets goal side of Andre Campbell, and Callum Irving was caught out of position as he came out to challenge.
So it's the Louisville captain who opens the scoring, and now it's an uphill climb for Ottawa, needing a goal just to wrestle something out of this match. Should mention the available subs for both teams. 2 backup keepers for Louisville, and Tim Dobrovolsky and Michael Bledsoe. You've got Cameron Lancaster, who made an appearance for Tottenham, the Englishman. Brian Ownby, Paul Del Piccolo, Oscar Jimenez, and Niall McCabe, the Irishman. For Ottawa, the backup keeper, David Palme. You've got Ramon Martin Del Campo, Sergio Minicio, Ryan Williams, Azake Lubuyera, Carl Howarth and Nick Depew. So some attacking players like Williams, Lubuyera, Howarth, and Depew available to Julian de Guzman as they look to turn around this 1-0 deficit here in the 58th minute. Free kick Louisville is Ranjit Singh. Sends this into the Fury half. Headed back by Venter. Chested down Jamar Dixon. Going forward on the left side, Andre Campbell. Now to Anwar Bassi. Across the back three. Comes through Venter to Edward. Ahead to Cito. Leaves it for Dos Santos, and it comes back to Cito. Here's Cito from distance. Takes a deflection, comes back to Dos Santos, and the shot deflects out for an Ottawa corner, but Ranjit Singh forced into the save off that shot that took a deflection from Cito.
Well, Cito certainly has that ability to strike from distance. We see it there. A great save by Ranjit Singh to dive to his right and get the right arm to it. And then Dos Santos had the rebound blocked for a corner.
59th minute corner, a left-footed outswinger from Gerardo Bruna. Here's the delivery, and it's headed away. Comes back to Adonai Jareed. His cross. Grabbed by Ranjit Singh, and Louisville out of danger.
Well, we've got one sub up and ready to come into this match for Fury FC, and that's the man on loan from the Montreal Impact, Nick Depew. And looks like Carl Howarth will also be coming into the match as well. Of course, he was recognized prior to the game for playing in his 100th match with the club a couple weeks ago in Rochester. This will be match number 102 in his Fury career.
Good run down the right, and the cross from Cito just doesn't get to Steven Dos Santos, but you can see already, since they've conceded that opening goal, Ottawa starting to get a little bit better attacking play.
Well, and they really have no choice, do they now, AJ? And it was a good run by Cito, but that's a long distance to get a ball crossed into the back post from. Someone needed to be making that run to the near post. It was never going to get by Ranjit Singh.
So Nick Depew will be the first sub to come on for Ottawa's. Ballard couldn't keep that in play, and we're going to see Carl Howarth come on as well. Steven Dos Santos replaced up front by Nick Depew. And Carl Howarth will replace Adonai Jareed. Two striker for striker changes for Ottawa, and that leaves one option left for a substitute. It'll be Depew, Cito, and Howarth up top for Ottawa Fury. Subs made in the 61st minute. Here's Eddie Edward. Gets this forward. Howarth. Comes on the right side, and it's Cito. Good work into Depew, and the header just misses wide of that far post. But Cito has really been active for Ottawa Fury FC, and Depew just couldn't put that on target.
Well, the subs are made and immediately having an impact on this game.
Sorry, that was Barden down the right. That's my bad.
Jonathan Barden with a good run and brings it into Nick Depew. Didn't miss by much at that near post.
As it's flicked on here, and Ballard lays it off for Kay. Here's Kay, the Canadian, with a left-footed effort, and that one Goes out for an Ottawa goal kick.
Well, Ottawa just getting caught with numbers right there. And again, needs to make sure that they're going to communicate if players are going to pinch forward, as that was given away too easily. And almost turned into a 3-on-1 around the top of their own penalty area. Kyle Venter now engaged with a lengthy discussion with Pierre-Luc Lausière.
Goal kick, Ottawa Fury. 63rd minute, 1-0 Louisville. Depew goes up for this header and he's fouled. Free kick. Ottawa inside the Louisville half. They're looking to take it quickly, but slow it down, and Bruno will come across and play this wide left for Obasi. Now to Andre Campbell. Campbell whips in the cross, and that'll go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, completely mishit there by Andre Campbell. You don't see that very often from the Jamaican.
So goal kick in the 64th minute. Headed back, it comes to Andre Campbell. Ahead on the left side, this is Depew. His ball doesn't get to Campbell, and Louisville back in possession. Comes forward for Kay. His ball looking for Spencer. Scooped up at the edge of the penalty area by Ottawa's Callum Irving, and Fury will look to attack again. Obasi. Eddie Edward now to Jamar Dixon. Here's Obasi on the left. Able to get past Kay. Obasi keeps going. Lays it off on the left side. Andre Campbell. He beats Davis and wins a corner for Ottawa now in the 65th minute. Great work down the left by Ottawa Obasi and Andre Campbell.
Heck of a move there by Ottawa Obasi, and then Andre Campbell with a nifty touch and jump over his man to get inside. And cleared out by Sean Tosh for another Fury corner.
Left-footed outswinger here from Gerardo Bruna. Here's the delivery. And it comes back for a shot on the right-hand side. That was Howarth, but that misses, and it'll be a goal kick for Louisville. 66th minute. Ottawa Fury FC 0, Louisville City FC 1.
Well, you've said it earlier, AJ, ever since that Louisville goal, certainly a lot of energy behind Ottawa's attack, and really how they have to finish this one out.
Jamar Dixon gets this to Andre Campbell. Now Cito, just past the halfway line. Cito for Dixon. Comes wide right, Eddie Edward. Now in the middle, Carl Howarth with a turn. Howarth with a little bit of room. Lays it off for Andre Campbell with the cross towards the back post, and Ranjit Singh is able to grab that in the air, and Ottawa continues to press for the equalizer here in the 67th minute.
Yeah, Carl Howarth cutting across the top of the penalty area. Had one opportunity to let one go before the defender stepped up, albeit it would have had to be off the left boot.
Here's Spencer now. Chased from behind by Dixon. That forces him into coughing up possession, and Fury looked to counter through Gerardo Bruna. Now to Jamar Dixon just past the halfway line. Moves this wide right. It's John Barden. Cuts inside. Beats one man. Barden inside the penalty area. On his left foot. Now to Howarth. That stopped, and the rebound is put home. Ottawa on the board. It's the first Ottawa Fury FC goal for Nick Depew in the 68th minute. 1-1 the score.
Fantastic finish from the big man inside the 6, but you got to give all the credit there to Jonathan Barden. Fantastic work on that right side to work his way into the penalty area and then tuck it inside for Howarth, whose shot was stopped, and Depew Johnny on the spot to bury the rebound to equalize this one here in the 68th minute.
So 1-1, their attacking play is able to pay off. Now can they get a late winner? Well, still lots of time for that. That goal coming in the 68th minute from Nick Depew, and now into the 69th. Free kick here. Coming for Louisville, just inside the Ottawa half. As this is delivered to the edge of the penalty area, Obasi with the header. Now it comes back to the keeper, Irving, and he'll launch it forward. So the substitutes for Julian de Guzman pay off. Depew with a goal, and it comes after the shot from Carl Howarth is stopped from close range, forcing that rebound from in tight. See if he's got some more magic in terms of who to bring on as a sub. Free kick conceded by Jamar Dixon, 28 yards out.
I don't know. I really want to see the replay on that one. I think he just tried to hurdle the challenge from Jamar Dixon, because you'd think if there was contact made, that would for certain be a yellow card.
No, touched him. So this free kick coming from 10 yards beyond the penalty area. It'll be left of center. Ottawa sets up a two-man wall. And it's scuffed. And Fury look to counter as Howarth gets this for Cito. Comes back to Obasi, and this goes out of touch for a Louisville throw. We will see the first two subs here for Louisville City as Brian Ownby and Niall McCabe will come on.
Looks like Richard Ballard is going to be first.
So Niall McCabe replaces Ballard. And that's it for the Canadian Mark Anthony Kay, as he's replaced by Brian Ownby, the American under-20 international. He has 29 games experience at the MLS level with Houston Dynamo. '72nd minute, 1-1. Well, Fury have played the top teams in the league well. They've got a draw at Charleston. They've got a draw at Charlotte. They've defeated Charlotte at home. Playing the top team in the East here right now in Louisville and level with them. The problem is they just didn't get enough points against the teams below them in the standings. I think of most notably those 5 drop points against Toronto FC 2. A draw at home, their home opener, and losing in Toronto. Those are the type of results that have them in the predicament they're in right now.
Yeah, no question. You could, you go through at the start of the year, you look at the other teams, how they performed in the past, who's in their squad. You look at what you have, and there's certainly teams where you mark it off and you say, yeah, 3 here, maybe a draw there, and you're looking to your road games where you're picking up points here and there. But certainly some of those teams that are below them in the table, they expected better results from. Another one that comes to mind is that loss at home to Pittsburgh in a game that certainly Ottawa looked the better of the two sides, but were just undone by a couple of well-finished opportunities by the Riverhounds.
And again, if you can find a way to win this game here today, at Harrisburg Wednesday is probably, and there's no easy matches in USL, but of their remaining games, that's probably your best chance to get a win. All of a sudden you get back-to-back wins. The thought of getting 2 wins in your last 3 or a win and 2 draws in your last 3 doesn't seem as daunting as it does if, say, you get the draw today and basically your margin for error is real thin.
Yeah, no question, a win today, and you're playing with a different level of confidence, especially when you go to Harrisburg, albeit they've certainly been in better form of recent than they were at least to start the season. So you're playing a team that, albeit in a tough spot in terms of the playoffs, currently 7 points back, and they've played more games than most ahead of them, and just 3 games remaining, so their season would officially hang in the balance on Wednesday night. Harrisburg, that is.
Free kick here in the 75th minute for Ottawa as it's worked towards the 6-yard box, and Randitzing comes diving out, and he is going to draw the foul.
Well, he had to get that ball because he came well off his line, and if that ball fell loose to anyone in red, there was nobody marking the goal. Now we'll get our water break for the second half.
75th minute water break and a 1-1 draw, so this will tack on a couple of minutes into stoppage time, and both teams have used 2 subs, both with 1 left. And can Ottawa find a way to get that first win, that elusive first win under interim manager Julian de Guzman?
Yeah, you got to feel for the guy, really, because it's been such a different team since he's taken over, and was certainly tasked with a tough challenge when in taking over, given that you go on that 3-game road trip where you go to Orlando, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati amidst the big change, and certainly games where they've deserved a better fate than how it's ended. But at 1-1 in this match with 15 minutes and stoppage time remaining, you certainly have to think that Ottawa is the more confident of the two sides, at least since conceding that goal. They've turned things up a notch, and again, you look to a guy like Carl Howarth, who needs to break that goalless drought. Nick Depew with that clutch goal for Ottawa. Cito certainly had his opportunities today. Jonathan Barden, who played a key role in setting up that equalizer, has looked very sharp coming off that right side. And the 3rd and final sub coming for Louisville City FC.
Yeah, it's Oscar Jimenez coming in, replacing the left back, Tarek Morad. So 77th minute, 1-1. As we're back underway here at TD Place following the water break. And it's sent forward by Ottawa keeper Callum Irving. Now it comes to Cito just inside the Louisville half. Cito looking for support on the left side. Andre Campbell pushing forward, and Cito will play it into the middle for Gerardo Bruna. Center circle now, it's Jamar Dixon in for Cito, who's clearly fouled, dead center. And this close to 35 yards out.
Well, and now you've got Cito, Carl Howarth, Gerardo Bruna, all standing over this one.
So very dangerous spot for this free kick, about 32 yards out. As the referee puts down a spray. A 5-man wall for Louisville. It'll be Carl Howarth with the right foot, bends it, forces a save from Ranjit Singh, and he will earn Ottawa another corner here in the 79th minute.
Well hit by Carl Howarth, trying to pick out the bottom post on the right side, and Ranjit Singh diving to his left and able to get his arms to it to parry it away.
Here's Bruno with the left-footed in-swinging corner, and Venter with the header, and he just had it knocked off the line. What an opportunity there from Kyle Venter as Howarth puts in the cross. And Depew with his head to it, but couldn't get that on target. And it will be a goal kick for the visitors, Louisville City FC, 80th minute, 1-1.
Yeah, good work by Kyle Venter to get up for that one, and classic example of why you have men defending your goalposts.
So Fury look to push on as Gerardo Bruna gets this ahead for Carl Howarth. His ball intercepted, and here comes George Davis IV. Ball forward and turning is Ownby. 25 yards out. He'll lay it off for a bend. Speedy Williams now. Wide right for Davis. Back to Williams in the middle. Davis on the right. Quick little 1-2, gets past Andre Campbell. Now the shot from 10 yards out is skied from Luke Spencer. What a miss from Spencer there, and boy, he puts that on target anywhere, and likely we're talking about 2-1 Louisville here in the 81st minute.
Bad miss by Luke Spencer. When you're at that close range, you just want to get it on target. And sky that one over the crossbar. At least force the keeper into a save from that range.
So Ottawa dodges a bullet into the 82nd minute, 1-1. And again, Louisville looking to wrap up first in the East on 55 points, but this game not nearly as important to them. Up 7 on second place Charlotte with 2 games in hand, as it is to Ottawa. 6 points out of a playoff spot, as a foul and a yellow card coming here against Gerardo Bruna. First player to be booked here today.
erratic delivery of a yellow card. Well, one sub still remaining for Fury FC. It'll be interesting to see what Julian de Guzman opts to do here. Backup goalkeeper David Palmay, Ramon Martin Del Campo, Ryan Williams, Zachary Luboyera, and Sergio Minicio, the remaining substitutes. Howarth and Depew both coming in the 61st minute. 7 minutes after coming on, Depew had the equalizer. We will have used all three of their substitutes. McCabe and Ombi coming in together, and more recently Oscar Jimenez.
Dixon sends this forward into the Louisville half. Racing after it is Howarth. Louisville in possession and comes to Tosh. Laid forward by McCabe, and now it's Spencer with a cross, chested down to his keeper Callum Irving by Eddie Edward. Now Venter for Obasi. Gerardo Bruna. Venter for Obasi. Here's Bruna. Ball wide on the right for Barden. He helped create the first goal by Nick Depew. Barden cuts across the middle and couldn't provide the service there as Louisville wins possession, and a bend just launches this into the Ottawa half. Goes out for a Fury throw.
Well, and really, as it is right now, it is advantage for Louisville City, who will be more than content with the draw, and knowing what Ottawa needs. They know that Fury FC are going to have to cheat at times, and that's when their dangerous counter-attacking ability can strike.
Both teams come in with 4-game unbeaten streaks, but Louisville's 3 wins and a draw, and Ottawa 4 draws. So right now those are set to be 5 unless we see a late winner here, as we're now in the 85th minute. 1-1 the score. Here's Eddie Edward inside the Ottawa half. Wide right for John Barden.
It's a wild one in Bethlehem this afternoon. It's now 3-1 for the Steel. We're a minute removed from halftime.
Fury thought it was handball. Referee said no. And Louisville looks to counter here. The ball goes wide right. Cleared forward to Davis, and Louisville still in possession. It's a bend. Gets this wide on the left. Inside the penalty area, it's sent to the edge of the 6 and cleared away there.
Well, it looks like Ryan Williams is taking some instructions down on the sideline, so he will be Ottawa's third and final substitution whenever that occurs. Cheaply given away there by Louisville.
As Fury looked to get a throw in for Cito, but it's broken up by Reynolds, and Louisville looks to counter. Headed away here by Eddie Edward. Speedy Williams lays it off. A bend, his ball in behind Spencer, and Irving comes out to play this. Here's Carl Howarth. A quick turn, center circle, out of Bruna. Head for Cito. Wide left. Campbell. Now to Cito. Cleared out for an Ottawa throw, and here comes the third and final sub as Ryan Williams to come on, and he'll replace Gerardo Bruna in the 87th, now 88th minute here at TD Place. Williams on the ball already. As he plays it for Obasi. Now to Williams. His ball, a little too much on it, goes out for a goal kick. Header here from Kyle Venter as it goes back into the Louisville half. And out for a Louisville City throw. Should have a good amount of stoppage time with 6 substitutions and a 2-minute water break. Hasn't been a lot of stoppage time beyond that, but that in itself should provide at least 4, if not maybe 5 minutes of stoppage time here. It's a careless giveaway. And here's Davis again. Davis, the goal scorer, with a right-footed effort and didn't miss by much as he put that low past the far post. It'll be a goal kick for Ottawa here in the 89th minute.
That was dangerously close for George Davis, the 4th. In Ottawa, you can ill afford to give it away that cheaply inside their own defensive third.
Free kick, Ottawa Fury here inside their own half.
Yeah, ball skipping up there, and it was on Luke Spencer.
Obasi ahead on the left side, and here's Cito for Ottawa. Back to Ryan Williams. Getting just a minimum of 3 minutes of extra time. That's a little bit surprising. See what Fury can do with it as we're still in the 90th, and going down was Jamar Dixon, and it'll be a goal kick. He thought maybe there was some contact and a penalty inside that 18-yard box.
It was a good work by Jamar Dixon to try and power past this man. Thought he would have at least won Ottawa a corner there, but it must have touched off Dixon as he was rolling to the ground, and it rolled out for a goal kick. '90th minute goal kick here as flies into the air. Obasi clearly fouled, and this will be a free kick for Ottawa. Into stoppage time now. Can Ottawa fashion a late winner? Irving sends it forward. It's flicked on towards Depew inside the 18-yard box. Left-footed shot. Oh, Cito hit the bar. Great effort from Cito. He caught it clean, but it hit the crossbar and went down and did not pierce the goal line. And back comes Louisville, and they've got numbers going forward. Here's McCabe. He lays it off on the right, and good defending by Eddie Edward to concede the corner. Wow, what action here in stoppage time as both teams look to net a late winner and 3 points. What a hit from Cito. We've seen that thundering shot from him a couple of times this year, but he rattles the upright and it bounces down and stays out. That just seems to be how it goes for Ottawa. You remember last week in stoppage time, Andre Campbell's goal-bound shot goes off the post and stays out.
Free kick here as Ryan Williams called for the foul. So we've got another minute 40 of stoppage time to be played. Jimenez will take this free kick. So here's the delivery from the right side, and it's taken short. Ownby plays it in the air. It's headed clear. but Louisville still in possession. As they get it back to the halfway line, it comes to Eddie Edward. Goes off of him. Deflects and comes to the keeper, Irving, as we've got another 50 seconds or so of stoppage time here at TD Place. Played into the air to Pugh. Now Williams gets it forward for Cito. 2 defenders on him. Can he get some support? It does go off Ryan Williams, but right to the keeper, Ranjit Singh. And the good news if you're Ottawa is Louisville's not playing for this draw. They're playing for 3 points as well, so they're at least attacking and pushing forward, not trying to kill the remaining seconds. We've got 25 seconds of stoppage time remaining here, as this will be a free kick for Ottawa, far touchline. About 40 yards out, and virtually everyone going forward for Ottawa Fury here. The last chance of the match likely here for either side, as this free kick is delivered by Williams. And Ranjit Singh goes up for it, and I don't know why they're calling that a foul. Well, the flag is up on the far side, but it's not for offside.
No, I don't know about that. When you go up like that, you're bound to collide with your own players, and
that's a terrible call.
But with
nonetheless, it wasn't going to make any difference anyways. So a 1-1 final here for Ottawa Fury. Pretty good result against the top team in the USL East, a team that came in red hot with 3 wins and a draw in their last 4. Team that now is atop the table by 8 points. So 1-1, and just the way they played, pretty good. But again, it's 6 draws and 2 losses now under Julian de Guzman, and now 4 matches left. That margin of error just a little more slim. Probably you can't lose anymore. It's basically you need 10 points from 12 at least. It's either 3 wins and a draw or 4 wins to get you into the playoffs.
Yeah, you pretty much need to win out, and now it's that time of the year where the numbers are almost against them and you need help. Perhaps one of the trickier factors is that some of these teams, everyone's fighting not just to get into the playoffs, but when they're playing teams that are seated higher than them in the table, they're fighting to get first place. They're fighting for home field advantage. So there's still a lot to be played for, and you have to appreciate that degree of parity in the USL's Eastern Conference. It's fantastic to have, but certainly doesn't necessarily bode well for Ottawa, who really starting Wednesday night in Harrisburg, it's 3 points, if not. That really is the season now with 5 consecutive draws. You have to like that, especially against some of the opposition. But it's wins, and it's really that second goal is the must.
Man of the match today, it is the local boy, Eddie Edward.
Well, how much have we talked about the heat of today? And Eddie Edward did all sorts of running up and down that right side. So many great defensive plays, very responsible inside his own half. And when you're playing in the heat that he had, I think Eddie Edward had a tremendous game and did justice to wearing the captain's armband here this afternoon.
Our next match comes to you on Wednesday night from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, right near the Hershey Chocolate Factory, just a few miles away from there. And, of course, the U.S. Civil War Museum is in Harrisburg as well if you happen to go down to the game on Wednesday. But if you don't happen to go down, you can watch it on Rogers TV. You can listen to it on TSN 1200. It'll be the Harrisburg City Islanders against Ottawa Fury FC, and then back home on Sunday against Charleston at 2 o'clock. Should mention 6:30 start on Wednesday from FNB Field in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. On behalf of our entire crew, our producer Mike Sutherland, our host Tyler McDonald, Jenna Mosier, Graham Ivory, I'm AJ Jakubek, and of course our fabulous crew here. Hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Final score, Ottawa Fury FC 1 and Louisville City FC 1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have yourself a tremendous weekend. This has been Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
This copywritten telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.